management, that is catalogs, code groups, codes, and selected set. So what are these things? So we already know while creating a master inspection characteristic, so that qualitative characteristics, whatever we have created, color as a color qualitative characteristics which we have created in our previous session, there while creating that characteristic we have assigned a catalog, the available catalog, right? So let me show you that. So what is the characteristic that we have created? Let me go to transaction code QS23. Okay, we have created characteristic in plant 1000. The one which we have created is color underscore QM, right? So here we have assigned a catalog while creating this qualitative characteristic. Okay, if we click on this catalog button, we can see there is a catalog with code 1, nothing but a characteristic attribute which is assigned to this particular master inspection characteristics, and there are many different code groups and selected sets that are available here, right? And we have assigned one of the selected set or a code group from this list to our master inspection characteristic. Now we will understand what do we mean by catalog, what do we mean by code group, what do we mean by codes, and then selected set. How to create these different let's understand these different terminologies first, and how to create them in SAP. We'll understand that, and then we will assign our newly created code group and selected set to our characteristic. Okay, so let's understand what are these things. So as of now, I'm not going to save anything. I'm just coming out of it. Okay, let us start with first I'll start with catalog. Let's understand what is this catalog, then we'll go to code groups, and then let's understand what are these codes. Okay, let me open the Excel sheet which we okay, so this is the which we have already opened here. So let me open our Excel sheet. Catalog, code group, codes, and selected set, or I'll just mention it as selected set. Okay, so let's first we'll understand what is this catalog. Okay, then we'll understand code group, and then we'll understand codes, and finally we'll understand selected set. Okay, so what is this catalog? See, these catalogs are not only used in quality management module. Okay, these are also used in plant maintenance module. These are cross module application. This catalog topic is a cross module application. Okay, now in quality management we have different types of catalogs that are already available in the system. In case if we need a new catalog, of course we can create a new catalog. Okay, and we can create a separate code groups and codes for our new catalog as well. That is also possible. Now I'll go to the slide number 6 directly. First let's come understand the catalog, and then we'll come back in the reverse manner. Okay, so as we just discussed that there are different types of catalogs that are available in SAP. For quality management, we will be using these different catalogs. So we will be using characteristic attribute, we'll be using tasks, usage decision, events, causes, defect consequence. Okay, and there are many other catalog types that are already available in the system. But for quality management, depending upon different business scenarios, we will be using different catalog types. Okay, so first we are not going to create any new catalogs, rather we will be using the available standard catalogs which are already there in SAP. Okay, now if at all we want to see the catalogs, so the transaction code what we are going to use is QS41. Okay, QS41 is the transaction code that we are going to use to access catalogs. So if at all we want to see the catalog, either we can enter the transaction code directly in the transaction box, or we can navigate through this path. So let me navigate through this path, go to logistics. Okay, now let us go to quality management here. Go to quality planning, go to basic data. Here we can see there is one folder for catalogs. So go here. Now we are understanding what is this code group. Go to code group. Okay, and then the transaction code is QS41. So go to this transaction code. Now if I click on this small box or F4 option, we would be able to see there are different catalog types. These are nothing but a catalog types, okay, which are already available in SAP. If we want, we can always create a new catalogs. We can always create a new catalog in case of any new requirement, depending on the business. We can create new catalogs here, but there are already some catalogs which are already available. Whatever we can see: activities, defect types, characteristic attribute, tasks, usage decision. Okay, so let's understand the example of creating code groups and codes by using one of the catalog type here. Okay, so let me take up the example of characteristic attribute. So whatever we are going to work here, the same concept will be followed for other catalog types as well. Okay, so now I want to create first. There is a catalog already, so we will be using the available catalog, that is characteristic attribute. So select the catalog here. Next, if we enter star in the code group field, system is going to bring all the code groups that are available within the catalog. So here we can see in our slide how actually the tree follows. This is nothing but a structure. We can say a tree or a structure. So under each catalog type, so this is an example. Let's say this is a catalog type X. Under this catalog type X, we will be having number of different code groups: code group 1, code group 2, code group 3, 4, 5, and so on. Okay, so we under each catalog type we might have 10 different code groups, we might have 5 different code groups, depending on the business how they want. So depending on that, the consultant or a super user will create this data for each catalog type. Okay, now let's say for catalog type X, we have 3 different code groups. Under each code group, we will be having the different codes. Okay, this is how the structure follows. Okay, for example, whenever we are measuring a quantitative characteristic, what we will do, we will be defining the upper limit and lower limit. So whenever we do the quality inspection of any product, we will note down the inspection result, we will come to the system, and we will enter that result recording. Okay, so that result recording will be between the upper limit and the lower limit. So that thing will be there when we are working with the quantitative characteristics. But in case of qualitative characteristic, it cannot be measured, right? So for example, we have discussed this thing already in our very first class during our MIC class, right? So for qualitative characteristic which cannot be measured, we can only express what could be the result. Suppose let's say we are manufacturing some kind of a liquid. So we will decide the quality of the liquid depending upon its color. Okay, maybe the desired color of that liquid should come as a red color. Okay, in case if it is a red color, then it is a very much accepted by the quality inspector. Okay, in case if it comes as a yellow color after manufacturing, if the liquid color turns into yellow, now we are assuming that this color is accepted, this color is rejected. Suppose let's say if it turns into a yellow color, then that is not accepted by the quality inspection. Whenever we do the quality inspection, because of that unexpected color, we reject that particular product, saying that this particular product is not matching the quality requirements. So in this manner, we will be deciding what should be the result of that particular product. Okay, so for such things, these catalogs are generally used. For quantitative characteristic, of course, they can be expressed using numbers. So we will maintain what is the number. If the number is within the limit, then it is acceptable by the system. If it is outside the limit, automatically system is going to reject it. But in case of qualitative characteristic, so there is nothing to measure. It can be expressed like a color, like odor, okay, like clarity. So depending on that, we are going to record our results. So for that purpose, these catalogs are generally used. Because of that reason, we will create a catalog, and these catalogs will be assigned to the inspection characteristic. Okay, so here in a very common term, what we can say is these are predefined standard set of codes which we are going to define in SAP, and we are going to give it to the users. So whenever they do the results recording after quality inspection, they are going to maintain the codes which are already available in the system against that product. Okay, that is what we are going to define it now. This is the structure, how it follows. First, we will be creating a code group inside a catalog type. Okay, for each code group, we will be defining different set of codes depending upon business requirement. These set of codes cannot be changed again and again. Okay, suppose let's say they are manufacturing one specific type of liquid. Okay, that specific type of liquid will be manufactured all maybe for a decade. Okay, so they will already be knowing what should be the color of that liquid, okay, for acceptable. In case if it turns out to some other color, if it has to be rejected, they will be knowing all these details. Based on those details, we will be creating our code group using the codes, and then we will be placing those codes under each catalog type. Okay, so in our example, we will be creating a new code group in our catalog called characteristic attribute. So the same concept will be applicable for all other different catalog types which are related to the quality management. Now, if we enter star here, click enter, system is going to display all the different code groups which are already created for this catalog type. Okay, there are 40 different code groups which are created under this catalog. Okay, under this catalog type, right? So this is the structure what we saw earlier. Okay, so this is the structure. Under the catalog type called characteristic attribute, they have created 40 different code groups. Under each code group, they will be having a different codes. Okay, now what we will do, under our catalog type characteristic attribute, we will create a new code group, and under that particular code group, we will be creating a new codes. Okay, that is what I'm going to do it now. Okay, so let me proceed ahead and let's start creating the code groups here. So I will create a new code group under a catalog type called characteristic attribute. To create a new code group, there is a option here, new entries. Click on this new entry. So now here you just enter your code group. Okay, so suppose let's say I'll enter a code group as color underscore green. Okay, color underscore G. I'm just giving it as color underscore G, and short text we can give it as any description we can give for our code group. So I'll just give it as color underscore green. Okay, and the status of this particular code group, it should be released. Then only system is going to allow us to use this particular code group in our business process. Okay, so if it is being created or if it is set for deletion flag, of course we cannot set a deletion flag for newly created one. Yes, if we can also mark it as a deletion flag, but it doesn't make any sense. If we mention it as being created, system thinks that it is not yet completely ready, so it won't allow us to use this particular code group. Okay, so it has to be always in a released status. After some time, if at all we don't want to use this code group, we can mark it for a deletion flag, or we can mark it as can no longer be used. Okay, now I want to use this code group in my further business, so I'll be marking it as a released. Okay, once we mark it as a released, click enter. Okay, so I should remove this uh, underscore. Okay, so what I will do is I'll just mention it as green, enter. Okay, now select this code group. Under this code group, we are going to maintain the codes. Double click on this code. Okay, now to maintain the codes, click on new entries. For this green, I'll be maintaining the code. Okay, I'll maintain it as 1 here, or I'll give it as 001 or 0001. And text for this code, what text I will give is light green. Okay, I'll create one more code under this code group 0002. Okay, I'll maintain it as dark green. Okay, these are the two different codes I'm going to maintain under this code group. Okay, now click enter. In case if we want to maintain some many other codes for each code group, we can of course maintain it. Okay, but I'll maintain only two codes here. Come back. Yes. Now I'll create one more code group for my catalog. So this time I'll create it as orange. So here the text I'll give it as color underscore orange, and status I'll mark it as released. Enter. Now select this code group and go to codes folder here, which is onto the left side. Double click on this code. Now click on new entries to maintain the codes. So I'll maintain it as 0001 light orange. Next, I'll maintain it as dark orange. Okay, so these are the two different codes I'm going to maintain for my other code group. Orange. Okay, enter. Now come back. I'll maintain one more code group for my catalog characteristic attribute. I'll maintain it as red. Color underscore red. Maintain the status as released. Enter. So select the code group, go to codes, click on new entries. Now maintain the codes 0001, and I'll maintain it as light red, and the other code I'll maintain it as dark red. Okay, so these are the two codes I'm going to maintain in my code group called red. Okay, come out of it. So I have created 3 different code groups under a catalog characteristic attribute. Each code group contains their own codes. Okay, it might be 2 different codes, or it might be 3 different codes, depending on the business requirement. In my case, I have created two codes for each code group. Okay, now I'm going to save this setting. As it is a configuration, okay, it will ask for a transport request. Okay, so maintain it. My data got saved now. So now what I did, I have used the available catalog here. Okay, I have used the available catalog, and I have created 3 different code groups under my catalog. Okay, so the catalog what I have created is, what I have used is characteristic attribute. Okay, I used this catalog. Under this catalog, I have created 3 different code groups. Okay, I have created 3 different code groups. Under each code groups, I have different codes. Under each code group, I have created a different codes. This is how the actual structure follows. Okay. Now we have created this whole structure. Hope you might have understood what do you mean by codes now. So there is nothing to define or there is nothing to explain more about codes now. We have already seen what are the codes, what are the code groups, and what are catalogs. Now we need to understand the selected set. So once after understanding what is this catalog, what is this code group, and what do you mean by codes, now we need to create a selected set. And then once after creating this selected set, we are going to assign this particular code group or selected set in our master inspection characteristic. Okay. Now let us understand what do you mean by selected set. It is also very, very simple. So let me go through the definition for selected set. It's very, very simple. Now in this case, how you are going to create a selected set is you are going to pick different codes. Okay, you are going to pick, or you can say you are going to pick the codes from different code groups which belongs to same catalog type. Okay, here we can see in this example, we can see under our catalog type called characteristic attribute. So we have n number of different code groups. Okay, now from these n number of different code groups, we are going to pick the codes from different code groups and we are going to form a selected set. That is how the selected set is created. Okay, so in this example, we can see there are three different code groups which have shown, which has been shown here under a characteristic attribute catalog. From each code group, we are selecting a specific codes from each code group. See, under this code group, we have 5 different codes. Under this code group, we have 3 different codes, and under this code group, we have 4 different codes. Now, while creating a selected set, we are going to choose some of the codes from this code group, some of the codes from this code group, and here we are not selecting any codes. It depends. If you want, we can select, or no need to select if it is not required. So one thing what we need to keep in our mind is we can select different codes, okay, from different code groups, but those code groups should belong to one single catalog. You cannot choose the codes from different catalog types. That we cannot do. We can only choose different codes from different code groups which belong to same catalog type. Okay, once we choose those particular set of codes, system is going to create a selected set. Okay, so this is how the selected set is created. Now let us go into the SAP and let's see how to create this selected set. So you'll get more clear understanding on this selected set. Okay, now I'm going to my previous SAP screen. Okay, now to create a selected set, the transaction code we are going to use is QS51. Okay, this is the transaction code we are going to use to create a selected set. I'm going back. You can as usual directly type a transaction here in the transaction box, or we can use the same navigation path. But now this time, instead of going inside a code group folder, we can go inside a selected set folder. Go here. Now go to transaction code QS51. So double click on this. Now here, from which catalog type I am pulling out those codes. So first you need to maintain the catalog type here. So the different code groups we have created under this catalog, right? So I'll be selecting this catalog type, characteristic attribute. In which plant I'm creating it in plant 1000. Okay, if you enter star here and click enter, whatever the selected sets that have been already created for this combination catalog and for plant 1000, system will display all those selected sets. There are 20 different selected sets which are already created here. Okay, these are the same 20 different selected set which you are able to see in the master inspection characteristic. Suppose let's say if I go to the master inspection characteristics where we assigned our selected set as BG color, okay, you would be able to see 20 different catalog codes. So let me go to the transaction code QS23. Okay, go to master inspection characteristics color underscore QM, go to catalogs here. Okay, this selected set we are assigning it from our catalog type called characteristic attribute. Okay, we can see, and even the code is 1 here. Okay, you can see that code here as well. Here it is. Okay, this is code 1. From this we have assigned a BG. Okay, if you go here, we have assigned a BG. If you click on this F4 option, you would be able to see all those different 20 selected sets which you are able to see here. These things are coming from this transaction QS51. Okay, now we will create our own selected set and then we'll assign that selected set in our master inspection characteristic. Okay, so to create a new selected set, click on new entries. Okay, now let's enter the selected set as color underscore, let me enter it as color underscore V. Okay, I'm just giving the selected set name here, or let me enter I'll enter it as COL, VIN underscore COL. This is the name of my selected set, and the description I'm going to give it as color underscore VIN. Okay, so this is the description I'm going to give, and here also we need to maintain the status as released to use it in our master data, and click enter. Okay, we cannot use this underscore, right? So let me remove that and I'll maintain it as color like this, VINCOLOR. This is the name of my selected set. Okay, now once you create this selected set, select this selected set and go to the folder selected set codes. Double click on this folder. Okay, now click on new entries. Here we would be able to enter different codes from different code groups which belong to this characteristic attribute. Suppose let's say if I click on this F4 option, what are the code groups that we have created? So we have created a code group called green, red, and orange, right? So from the green code group, I'll be selecting light green and dark green, both the colors. From the orange, I'll be selecting these two codes. Okay, from the red, so we need to go to red, right? Here it is, red. I'll be selecting light red and dark red. That means system, what we are doing as per the definition, we are selecting different codes from different code groups. Okay, these are the different code groups. We are selecting a different codes. It's not mandatory that we have to select all the codes from each code group. Okay, we can select even one. Okay, so let me select one here. I'll be selecting 3 colors, only three codes from 3 different code groups. But the condition is these code groups should belong to one single catalog type. That is how the selected sets are created. Now, once we select a required code from different code groups, we will be clicking on copy. See, system is going to copy all these things here. Okay, now once, suppose let's say we are doing the quality inspection of a liquid. Suppose if the color of the liquid after manufacturing, let's say the color of the liquid is light green, then what should be the valuation code? Okay, so in that case, suppose let's say if it is a light green, then it should be accepted. That means the quality is okay of that particular manufactured liquid. Okay, even if it comes as a light orange, okay, then also the result should be accepted. Okay, the business wants, if these two colors are reflecting in the manufactured liquid, they want that the result has to be accepted. So we will be marking the valuation code as accepted. Okay, suppose let's say if the inspection result turns to red of that particular liquid after manufacturing, the liquid color turns to red while doing the inspection, then it has to be rejected. That is not at all accepted color. So they have to dump, they have to scrap that liquid again, and they have to manufacture a new liquid. That is the meaning of it. So system is automatically going to reject it. In these type of catalogs, we are going to define the valuation code here in the selected set itself. Whereas in case of a quantitative characteristic, so where there will be a number range, if the inspected result is within the range, automatically system is going to accept it. Okay, if it is out of the range, system is automatically going to reject it. But in case of catalogs, system won't know if it is a light green, whether it has to accept or it has to reject. System will not come to know. That we have to define. Okay, we means business is going to define. If the liquid color is green or orange, they want system to accept it because that color of the liquid is acceptable. The quality is good. In case if the liquid color comes out as a red, then it is not acceptable by business. They have to scrap that liquid and they have to manufacture a new liquid again. Okay, so those valuation codes we are going to define for each color here. Okay, it is rejected if it turns to be red. So click enter. Now here we need to maintain the defect class. So what do you mean by defect class? Whether if it comes as a red, whether it is a major defect or it is a minor defect. So we are going to define that particular class. Let's say it is a major defect B. Okay, click enter. It's a major defect. So they have to scrap that liquid and they have to manufacture it from the beginning. Okay, that is the meaning of this particular color. Now, once you enter the required data here, I'll be saving this particular selected set, which we have created. So what is the selected set that we have created? We have created VINCOLOR, right? Now, I will be assigning that particular selected set in my master inspection characteristic, which we have created. So now I'll be changing this particular code group and selected set to the one which we have created here. Okay, so let me come out of it and let me reassign it again. Okay, I'm going to save. Okay, go back. Now go to catalogs. So go to F4 option. Now here, the one which we have created, it should appear here. Okay, where is it? What is the name of it that we have created? Oh, here it is. The one which we have created is VINCOLOR, right? If you click on this drop down box, system is going to show us that we have selected different colors, I mean to say different codes from these three different code groups. Okay, green is one code group, orange is one code group, and red is one code group. Even we can check out what are the things that we have selected here. Okay, so these two are acceptable. That is the reason they are coming in green color, whereas red is rejected. So that will come as a, that will be displayed in a red color. Now we are going to assign this particular selected set in our master inspection characteristic. So select win color here and then click on continue. Now I'm going to save it. Now we understood what is code, what is code group, what is catalog, and what is selected set. And we also created these things in our system. Now let us test it by creating an inspection lot. Okay, now we have created our master inspection characteristic. Next step, what we have to do? We have to assign this master inspection characteristic to our inspection plan. So we have created a MIC. This MIC will be assigned to our inspection plan. Okay, to the operation, we'll be assigning this MIC to our inspection plan. So let me go to the inspection plan, the one which we have already created. So go to transaction code QP02. What is the, for which material we have created inspection plan? We have created it for our material. So I have noted it down here. So let me copy this material. Okay, let me go back and let us go into this inspection plan, enter the plan, click enter. Okay, now select this operation, go to inspection characteristic. Already there is one inspection characteristic which is already assigned, that is length, nothing but a quantitative characteristic. Now we will assign one more mastery inspection characteristic, which is a qualitative characteristic. What is that qualitative characteristic? It is color, COLOR underscore QM. If you know the characteristic name, we can enter directly, or we can choose here from this available list. Okay, now I already know I'm entering it directly here. And sampling procedure, I'll maintain it as, okay, I'll change this sampling procedure also. I'll change it to fixed, which we already created. What is the fixed sampling procedure which we have created? Sampling procedure fixed. Okay, so the same sampling procedure, I'm going to assign it to my second characteristic as well. Click enter. Now here we can see that the checkbox which got activated. So this means it is a quantitative characteristic, and QL checkbox activated means it is a qualitative characteristic. Okay, now I'm going to save my inspection plan. Okay, after saving this inspection plan, the next step to check out how the selected set will work is we have to create a inspection lot. Okay, now I will create a manual inspection lot with the inspection type called 89. Okay, which we have assigned to our material master. So let me go to the inspection lot. The transaction code, what I'm going to use is QA01. I'm creating a new inspection lot for this material in this plant, and the inspection lot origin is 89. Enter. Okay, so let's say the lot quantity, I will enter it as 1000 pieces. Okay, 1000 piece, and I'll create a batch for it. Yes. Now go to inspection specification to assign the inspection plan or a task list which we have created. System will automatically assign that task list to our inspection lot, and then go to sample. Now let us determine the sample. That is what we understood in our previous session. Okay, as it is a fixed sampling procedure. Okay, sampling type, whatever we assign, sampling procedure which we assigned to our inspection plan is of a fixed type sampling type. Okay, that is the reason whatever might be your lot quantity, system is always going to pull only 10 pieces, because this is what we maintained in our sampling procedure. Okay, now I'm going to save my inspection lot. After creating an inspection lot, the next step what we are going to do is results recording. Okay, results recording. During results recording only, we will be entering our inspected result. Okay, now to record the result, let me go to the change mode of this inspection lot. This is the inspection lot number, and click on the results recording button. Okay, now we are going to record the result for our first operation, because there is only one operation in our inspection plan, and we have assigned the characteristic as well as sampling procedure to our first operation only. Maintain the operation. Now click continue. Now we can see there are two characteristics which are available here. One is for length, another one is for color. Now let's say the length, whatever we are going to inspect, the 10 pieces of this particular length. So if the measured value is between 5 to 15 meter, then system is going to accept it automatically. Valuation will be automatically accepted. But how, whether the system is going to accept this or whether it is going to reject it, it depends on the color and what is the valuation mode that we have assigned to our color. So that will decide the valuation mode here. Okay, suppose let's say if I go to that particular selected set. Okay, so the selected set which we have created is let me go here and let me search. The one which we have created is this one. So go to selected set here. Okay, So these are the things. Now let me enter the result. Suppose let's say if I am measuring, okay, so we have maintained the single result in the control indicator of this MIC. So system is allowing us to enter 10 different results here. Okay, for each piece or for each unit of measurement of that particular material. Okay, so the first one is the measurement of the first piece is 10 meters, second one is 12 meters, third one is 13, fourth one is 5. Okay, there will be 17, another one is 8, another one is 9, one is 10, another one is 11. Okay, and this is 16. Enter. Okay, and we also maintain that acceptable range is, if it is 2, then out of this 10, if 2 are out of range, system is going to accept it. That is what the condition or the rule we have maintained in our sampling procedure, which we already studied in our previous session. Okay, so out of 10, only 2 are out of this range. So even though the 2 are out of range, system is going to accept it. If it is more than 2, then system used to reject it. Okay, now let us now we have inspected our material, and we came to know that the color of that particular material is C. We can see only these 3 code groups what we have assigned to our mastery inspection characteristic. Okay, so from there, from the mastery inspection characteristic, system is pulling out this particular catalog and selected set what we have assigned. Now let's say after inspection we came to know that the color of that particular material is light green. So I'll be selecting this and click enter. So system has automatically accepted it. So how the system is accepting it? Because we have maintained that if it is a light green, it has to be accepted. In this particular setting, we have maintained this has to be accepted if it is a light green. That is the valuation code what we maintained. That is the reason it is accepting it here. Suppose let's say I'm not saving it, I'm coming out of it. I'll do the results recording again. Okay, this time I'll enter it here again 10. So I'll enter some random numbers here, 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay, this is 7, 7, this 7. Okay, click enter. Okay, this is enter. It is accepted. Suppose let's say if the color of that particular material is red. Okay, even though if it is orange, system is going to accept it, because in the respective setting we have maintained it as acceptable, even though if it is orange. Okay, which we saw in case of green. Same thing will happen if the result turns out to be orange. Suppose let's say if the color of that particular material is red. Okay, now what quality engineer, quality inspector, what he will do, he will inspect and he will come to know that the color of that particular material is red, which is not acceptable. So he will come to the system, he will come to this transaction and he will maintain the result as red. As soon as he maintain red and click enter, system is going to reject it. Okay, the results are rejected. It is not accepted. And what is the type of the defect? The defect class is, it is a major defect. So this particular material has to be scrapped, or some other action will be taken on this material depending on business requirement. Okay, so this is how the selected sets and catalogs, codes and code groups will be used in the results recording process. So for that, we have to go through all these different steps. Okay, so first what we did, I'll just summarize it. First, we understood what is catalog. Okay, then we understood what is code group, and we understood what are codes. And what we did, we created codes under code group, and then we assigned that particular code group to a specific catalog. Okay, after doing this, what we did, we created a selected set, and we understood what is this selected set and how to create this selected set. Once after creating this selected set, we assigned this selected set to our mastery inspection characteristic. That too, one thing you please keep in mind, that these catalogs will work only for the qualitative characteristic, where there won't be any range to record our results. Okay, this will work only for our qualitative characteristic. For quantitative characteristic, those can be measured. So those can be measured in terms of numbers. Okay, so we will maintain this selected set in our MIC. Then this MIC will be assigned to our inspection plan to the respective operation. Against each operation, the required MIC will be assigned along with the sampling procedure. Okay, once that is done, we have created an inspection lot manually. But in real cases, inspection lots will be created automatically depending on the business requirement. So if some events are triggered, okay, like in case if we have purchased some sort of material from a vendor, automatically in the back end, the inspection lot will be triggered so that we can inspect that procured material from a particular vendor. We can inspect it whether the material quality is good or no. If it is bad, we are going to send it back to the vendor. If it is good, we are going to use it in our further business process. Okay. Similarly, the inspection lots are generated when we manufacture any product within our plant. Okay, to inspect the quality of that particular material, whether the manufactured material is of good quality or no. Okay, in such cases, inspection lots are generated automatically. But in our case, just to understand it, we have created inspection lot manually, and then we recorded the result against this inspection lot. I mean to say, for this inspection lot, we have recorded result, and we saw how the system is going to accept and how the system is going to reject it, depending on what type of requirement. This is how the selected set and catalogs are used in quality management. Hope this is clear. So this is all about our today's topic.